is a cautionary tale of why you should stay the hell out of Butte, Montana. All right, so I'm from Oregon, born and raised, but I came to Concordia College, I guess like 5 years ago now, or 4.5 years ago, whatever it is, right? But one of the things I do is I brought my vehicle to Fargo-Moorhead, so I drive to and from Oregon and Minnesota every summer, right? It's like a road trip. I love road trips. So the first year I came here, I had a partner. He and I switched off driving together, and everything was great. However, my first year going back, I went by myself. Now, I'm a millennial, which means I like to put everything I do on social media. So one of the things I did was I did this road trip, and I decided that every city I stepped foot into, whether it was to get gas or just to enjoy the scenery, I had to take a picture of a sign that said the city's name or the town's name, right? Usually I'd shoot for someone that said, like, welcome to wherever I am, okay? And so I'm doing this trip actually I was in Minneapolis. I did a tour day Minnesota because I had never really been to Minneapolis and everything like that. So I explored all those areas, got my pictures and everything like that. Picture didn't happen. I wanted people to know, hey, I've been places. I've done shit. So I got a lot of pictures. And now I'm making my trip back west to Oregon, back to home, okay? I drive a minivan, right? I mean, you have to laugh at that, but yeah, all right. If it helps, it's called the Swagger Wagon because, I mean, look at me. Again, you don't have to laugh at me, but all right. So I'm driving my Swagger Wagon back west, and I'm hashtagging Oregon Trail 2012, you know? Because to me, it's like the Oregon Trail, right? I'm going from the east to the west. And my minivan is from the 90s, so it's about as technologically advanced as the wagons from the Oregon Trail. Minus oxen, so like, I got that going for me. Now, here's a really interesting part of the story. I want you guys to know the condition I was in while this whole story was taking place. I was running on empty, right? I was really close to empty when I was like about to enter Butte, the Butte Pass. But I'm a guy, and I'm like, YOLO, I do whatever I want. Nothing can stop me. And so I was like, I don't need to get gas. I'll get gas when I get to Butte. And I don't realize how far Butte is because I don't pay attention to signs. And all of a sudden I realize I'm below the E gauge on my gas tank speedometer. I don't know. Gauge. Cars. I'm a guy, but I don't know anything about cars. So hence why I drive a Swagger Wagon. Anyway. So if you've never driven through Butte, then you might not know that the Butte Pass, as I call it, I don't know if it's actually called that, is like this steep incline where like semis have to go like 3 miles per hour because they literally can't go any faster. And I have to go like 2 miles per hour because I literally can't go any faster. And I'm running on less than E, so I'm thinking, if I run out of gas on this pass, well, sorry, I didn't mean to do poetry. I know that's not against the rules. Anyway, if I run out of gas on this incline, then I'm screwed. So I'm just like kind of praying, not really religious, but in those circumstances, you pray, right? I'm praying that I make it over, and I do. And my God, I was so happy I made it over, because I knew that if I did run out of gas, I could just put it in neutral and coast until I got to a gas station, right? And that wasn't even the most stressful part of my night. Keep in mind, it's like 2 a.m. right now, okay, that I'm doing this. So dead at night, nothing's happening, I need gas. So I pull into a gas station, I stepped foot out of the car, which meant I had to get a picture of a sign that said, "Welcome to Butte, Montana," in the middle of the night. Not yet is it the middle of the night. It's 2 a.m. It's still early for Butians or whatever the hell you call them. So I go to the gas station, I fill up on gas, and I walk into the convenience store that's open, I assume 24 hours, or there's just people hanging out in there. Either way, I walk in there and I ask, "Hey, do you have any idea where I can find a sign that says Butte, Montana, or welcome to Butte?" And the guy gives me these very specific directions of where to go. So I'm like, cool, this guy's confident. He sounds like he knows what he's talking about. I'll listen. And I promise, I listen to his directions and I follow them. And I literally end up on this dirt trail where there's like broken down semis around me, construction vehicles. I have no idea where I am. I actually enter a new city. It's called like Rockville or some shit like that. I don't know. So I'm like, all right, clearly I'm not in the right area to find a sign that says welcome to Butte, Montana. So I turn around, I go back to Butte, and I find another convenience store that's open, I presume 24 hours. And I walk inside and I say, hey man, do you have an idea where I can find a sign that says welcome to Butte, Montana? And the guy says, yeah, I know this stuff, whatever, man. And he gives me directions. And again, I follow them. I'm already giving down my pride here, being a man and asking for directions. So the least he could do is give me correct directions. But again, I follow the directions, and they lead me to some residential area where there's nothing. There's nothing there except houses, and I don't care to take pictures of that. And so I'm kind of getting annoyed right now. At this point, it's probably like 3 o'clock in the morning, 3:30. I don't really remember. So I go back into town. And as I go back in, I'm kind of like the heart of the town, I assume, the city, if you want to call it a city, the whatever you call Butte, Montana, I don't know, the hellhole. I'm kind of in the center of it, and there's a lot of drunk people walking around, or as I like to call them, Montanans. Or Butians, whatever, I don't care. There's a lot of drunk people around. And so I park somewhere, and the way I'm actually taking pictures in Butte and everywhere is I have this like construction cone that I stole in college, and I have a point and shoot camera because I didn't have a smartphone at the time. And the way I would do is I would literally just prop up the point and shoot camera, set a timer, and then run to whatever sign I could and hope that the angle is good enough for a picture. It's not quite a selfie if I don't take it, so it was cool, it was hip, right? So I get out of the minivan, hopeful that I'll find a sign that says, welcome to Butte in the middle of the town. I don't know what I was thinking, it's fucking 3 a.m., give me a break. And I'm looking for someone who doesn't look entirely wasted. So I'm walking around with a cone and a point and shoot camera on my little holster. It's wrapped around my belt in this little like fanny pack for a camera. And I'm walking around looking like I know what I'm doing. And then I find these two guys who don't look too intoxicated sitting on a bench. And I talk to them and I'm like, hey guys, do you have any idea where I can find a sign that says welcome to Butte, Montana or something like that? And they're like, yeah, no man, I don't know where you should go. You should come here. And I was like, I'm like probably like 7 feet away from them. I was like, no? Like, why would I come closer to you? And he's like, I want to shake your hand, man. And I was like, I'm going to walk away. And he's like, no, come here, man. I'm like, you're not even offering me candy, man. So, at least give me something for my efforts here. So I'm like, nah, I'm good. Have a great night, guys. And they're like, no, come here. And I was like, oh shit, I think they want to mug me. And so I'm just like, no. Keep in mind, I'm like, at this point, I've done a lot of weight loss since then. I was about a 300-pound guy, kind of waddling around with this cone and like holding my camera to make sure no thugs steal the camera, because that's the most valuable thing on me. And so I'm like walking away, and I can hear them. I'm like, hey, come here, man. And I'm like, ah, shit. So I'm like starting to pick up my pace, starting to like run back to my swagger wagon. And then they start picking up their pace too. They're literally chasing after me, and I'm like, I'm freaking out. And so I get back to my car, I turn it on as quick as I can, and I just start driving. And then I look in my rearview mirror, and they're just standing in the middle of the road, like shaking their arms, like, oh, next time we'll get you. And I'm like, thank God I'm in my car. I should call the cops or someone so people know there are dangerous people on the road. And so I get probably like a mile away, which isn't far enough when you're in Butte, Montana. You need to get the hell out of there. But I get as far away as I can, and I call 911 because I don't know what else to do. And the operator's like, hello, what's your emergency? And I was like, I just got accosted by two guys in the middle of the night by this park. I don't know. I'm just worried for other people's safety. I'm safe, so I'm happy. And they're like, sir, what's the problem? And I was like, well, there are two dudes like accosting at least one person, and I don't think it's safe. I'm like, sir, what's the emergency? And that's when I realized that's just a normal night in Butte, Montana. And so since then, again, it's the middle of the night. The way I drive when I do this road trip is I just drive as far as I can until I'm tired. At 2 a.m., I was already tired, and I was ready to find a rest area, just pull over, sleep for a few hours, and keep going. So it's honestly like 4:30, 5 a.m. at this point. I am ready to go to bed. So I'm just like, all right, no, I guess everything's cool. Hang up the phone, just leave Butte, Montana. Decided I was never stepping foot in Butte, Montana ever again. And I only did one since then to pick up a Redbox movie, Wolf of Wall Street, because I was really bored one night when I was doing my road trip. And I know you can return those anywhere you are, so whatever. So I mostly kept dedicated to that. Anyway, that's a side note. Watch that movie. It's pretty good. Anyway, finally, at like 5:30, I did get a picture of a sign that said Butte, Montana, or Butte. I think it was called like Butte Gas and Stop. And my picture, you can check it out on Facebook if you don't believe me, is me with my pointy shoe just like, just pissed off at the world. I leave, ready to never return. And about an hour later, 5:30 in the morning, sun's like rising. I find a rest area. I'm ready to sleep. And I finally decided, hey, I'm out of Butte, Montana. I can finally rest. No sleep, so you get the hell out of Butte. Thanks.